Hello, welcome back to the channel. Weather's good till the weekend, so never mind the fact that it's still effectively winter. Let's break the Mini out and do stuff. So the 2025 project update went out yesterday, and I know I said I was waiting for better weather to happen, and it appears that it's going to until at least sort of Saturday, maybe Sunday. There could be some stuff creeping in, but it could get cold again next week. But I don't really want to waste this opportunity. I want to get in the boot. I want to clean back everything that has gone rusty to bare metal and get another coat of the rust-resistant paint on there and try and stop anything else from going rusty. And then we're kind of like ready to crack on with the next bit. So as you may have seen in the last video, we have actually managed to keep things relatively dry in the boot. There's a little bit of stuff, so let me show you. So where the peak up underneath the boot floor on the last video revealed that there were some rusty patches in the corners and it was starting to look a little bit, you know, moisture had got in, condensation or something along those lines. What it actually appears to be, where I was grinding and welding in the boot, it's little tiny filaments of grinding material where I hadn't cleaned up have actually welded themselves to the paint and they've gone rusty. So hopefully a bit of a wire brush in both corners and that should clean up. The only bits that have really got any kind of rust on them, obviously again this is just watermarks, it's anywhere that was left as bare metal, like that. So I think I'm going to break out my little rotating abrasive friends and dig them really into the corners as far as I can get and just kind of clean anything out that looks unsightly in here, and then maybe this afternoon we can dig out the welder, obviously tidying that up, and stick these parts in as well, although I might need an assistant for that. That might be a job for another day. Okay, that cleaned up quite nicely. After a brief pit stop to go and get the kids from school and a cup of tea and a biscuit, I'm back out here. So the rust has completely disappeared. As I said, it was just the dust of metal shrapnel. So once I'd sort of scraped out all the edges, it was bare metal and it was lovely everywhere in here. So no harm was done. And even on these pieces out here, they cleaned up lovely, no sign of any trauma. So what might be left for today, do you think? Well, there's a bit of sunlight left, it's 4:20. I might break out the welder and get these two remaining bits of floor here welded into the boot. That'd be a really nice kind of like positive spin to start for the year, wouldn't it? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so with the back part held in, as you saw here, with the old self-tappers along here, that's just to give me a reference point to make sure this is in the right place. I am going to do this afterwards. I have got to take some other paint I've just put on, back off again. I've put a earth point on here, so I've got bare metal on both sides of that, so I can clamp onto there, so I've got a nice earth point here. So all I've got to really do is clean these edges, or clean that edge there. I want to get a couple of tacks in there, and I want to mark out where I'm going to do my spot welds along here. So I'll mark that out, use my friend the joggler, wherever it's gone. Where's my joggler? It's here. If you've never come across a joggler before, a brilliant bit of kit. You squeeze it, it punches a hole. You can also spin the head around, it will also bend a flange on the piece you're working on. But the manual one's good. You can get air powered ones, which I'll be honest are even better if you can find one at a reasonable price. You just go psh, 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 or bend, 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 bend. Much, much better piece of kit. But again, this was cheap, local and available, and I have hands that work. So, right, I'm gonna mark these out, clean those edges back, and then get this tacked into place. The welder has been broken out. Let's hope it all still works. Okay, so, don't know if you can see up here, I have cleaned back to bare metal all the places what need it. We are screwed back in place. I'm just going to go with a couple of spots to start with across this back edge. I think I might start in the middle, one spot either side of the centre. It's going to be a bit of a pig to do, because you've got to hold it up, but once they are done, we can sort of branch out from there. So I've got it held in the corners at the minute with a couple of wing nuts, just to sort of make sure it stays roughly where I want it to, along with everything else. So let's get you planted in there. I'll get everything else set up. Yeah, great. Let's. Where's my hat? Oh, my mask. I haven't got my mask on. Of all things that you need when you're welding, it's your welding mask. There we go. Now I'll be able to sort of see what I'm doing or not. Okay. Just try and get a little tack on here. Woohoo! Nice to know that the welder decided to fire into life, because that's the first time it's seen daylight since August. There we go. Okay. Are the rest of them looking like they're in line? You know what? I think they are. I think. Let's get one more in the far corners. So here. And I'm going to get in your way. God, I'm getting too old for this crap. I'm sure everyone said that and then carried on. So, here we go. One, let's try there. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? Let's try one further down. That doesn't look so good. I might need a little tap on there to make that. Let's get a tappy stick, shall we? Ah, dee 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 dee. And let's hold it up and give it a thump. Okay, we'll hold that in place. Right, well that's looking positive, isn't it? Let's crack on and get the rest of them tacked in. Okay, custom boot floor back piece is completely spotted in place on that back edge. Got to do a bit of seaming along here, got a tiny bit of a gap to fill, but I haven't got a gap on the other side. It was kind of one of those, either I'm going to fill a little bit of a gap on both sides, or I've got to do a slightly bigger gap on one side and I can get someone to help me hold a backing piece in place. But yeah, quite pleased with that. They've gone on quite nicely in the relevant areas in here. You can see they've burned through nicely. It's a decent bit of heat gone into all of them. I had it up the welder on full blast, my little 100 amp welder. But yeah, really pleased with how that's in there. And I think what I'll do is I'll get the fiberglass out of the way and I'll just put a little tack in each corner, and then maybe start bridging some gaps along here before I start fitting the backing piece. But yeah, let's get the fiberglass out of the way. Okay, that is the back part of my custom boot floor tacked into place. Let's have a look. Now, I know all of you weld porn people will be going, oh, it's appalling welding, and I don't care at all. It's underneath the fuel tank, you're never going to see it, it's strong enough, that'll do. So, a little bit of a joiny bit up there. Ideally you need a backing piece to fill that gap, but I'll do that another day. Again, we are tacked here. Doesn't look like much there, but underneath it was a much bigger tack. And under here, as you can see, there's the tack. And we are good all the way along. Oh, I've missed a little bit of paint there. That was from a previous job. I've spotted that I'd plugged some holes up and I hadn't thought about the paint burning through on the bottom of the car. So that there, less than ideal, but I'll deal with that in a minute. You may have also noticed that I found this edge here was all rusty when I took the boot floor off. So again, I've dealt with that. That has been rust primed. So yeah, making a big step here. I'm going to have to stop today because I say it's 20 to 6 and I'm very quickly running out of daylight. So as much as this has been an emotional and physical reminder of the work I've still got to do with this car, I'm glad I got out here. I'm glad I did this. So I'm hopefully going to get back out tomorrow and do some more, but obviously I've got to keep things to a time frame with which you will actually watch them. So I'll leave this here. Thanks for watching. Hit the buttons and I'll see you on the next one.